As a longtime fan of the Borderlands series, it's disheartening to see the movie adaptation squander the potential of its vibrant ensemble cast by prioritizing one character above all or others. Having spent countless hours adventuring with Tiny Tina, Mordecai, Brick, and the rest of the crew, I can attest that their camaraderie is a significant part of what makes the game so enjoyable. And spoilers are ahead for the Borderlands movie's ending. As a movie critic, I must admit that the two-time Oscar-winning actress Cate Blanchett is undeniably an invaluable asset to any film she graces with her presence. However, it all seems that her portrayal of Lilith in the Borderlands movie set off a series of issues that ultimately led to its downfall. Adapted from Gearbox Software's popular video game, the series of the same name, Borderlands was met with a disappointing Rotten Tomatoes score upon release. Critics and audiences alike expressed their displeasure with the film, resulting in Eli Roth's Borderlands becoming a commercial failure. Despite a budget of $120 million, it managed to gross less than $10 million during its opening weekend. Despite featuring some of Borderlands' most memorable characters, the film doesn't directly follow any of the original storylines. Instead, it incorporates elements from the game as Easter eggs and references, but the overall narrative becomes confusing and diverges significantly from the established tales and personas of the franchise. For instance, Tiny Tina's backstory in the movie differs from Borderlands 2 due to focusing on Lilith's story arc. This is just one example of how Lilith's character may have set the film up for disappointment even before its release. Lilith should not be the Borderlands movie's main character, and made up in television and high power. And I find for a family cross-star, and I may be good in the eyes of Japanese personally building them in the cross-guard business. They may want making Lilith the central character in the Borderlands movie might have been one of Eli Roth and Joe Crumpy's most significant missteps. At the very least, it's a major problem of the chamber that may be a similar issue with the film, as many of its subsequent problems seem to stem from this initial choice, given that they managed to secure characters or roles in popular hits like Thor Ragnarok and Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films, as well as critically acclaimed dramas such as Carol. It appears that their decision-making process was influenced by this. While it's somewhat reasonable, it also seems misguided. In the movie, Lilith is a bounty hunter who originates from the perilous planet Pandora, the heart of the franchise. To begin with, she's employed by the malevolent business or tycoon Atlas, played by Edgar Ramirez, for what appears to be a reasonable objective. Atlas's daughter Tina needs to be saved from Pandora. However, as the story progresses, Lilith teams up with other unconventional characters from the Borderlands video games, such as the mercenary Roland and Tina's protector, Krieg, Florian Muntiano. Despite this, Lilith's narrative is given more significance from the outset, which challenges the ensemble approach of the Borderlands games. Borderlands doesn't need a traditional hero to tell its ensemble-based stories. Borderlands characters work better as an evenly weighted team. In the Borderlands video games, players choose from a variety of Vault Hunters to control, each with distinct skill trees and special abilities that set them apart. Although Lilith is one of these playable characters in the initial game, it's important to note that she isn't any more significant than her companions. Roland, Brick, and Mordecai were also missing from the Borderlands movie. Additionally, the series is renowned for its cooperative play, enabling players to team up for an exciting role-playing shooter experience together. Designating Lilith as the main character could significantly alter the essence of Borderlands. And what it was needed is before telling, and I can tell you, Tiny Tina is one of many characters who's altered pretty drastically. To clarify, Tiny Tina is one of several characters who find themselves overshadowed by the movie's emphasis on making Lilith a chosen one type of protagonist. In the Borderlands universe, Tina is revealed to be Atlas's daughter and a child with Iridian genetic material. as Pandora's original inhabitants. Throughout the story, Atlas believes that Tina holds the key, is unlocking Pandora's Iridian-crafted vault. However, it is ultimately Lilith, who appears to be a reincarnation of the protected deity known as Firehawk, who assumes this role. In essence, all the characters are written primarily to further Lilith's storyline. A true ensemble movie would have been better for the planned Borderlands cinematic universe. The future of the Borderlands movie franchise is unclear. It's clear that turning Lilith into a main character who dominates the storyline in Borderlands could be problematic, as it might overshadow the diverse cast of characters that make it the game series so appealing. This change could also negatively impact the proposed Borderlands film franchise, since the original plan was to launch a series of films based on this property. Given the nature of the games, which feature an ensemble cast, they lend themselves perfectly to spin-offs and sequels. Unfortunately, the significant shift in Borderlands narrative doesn't seem to increase the chances of another Borderlands production. And Borderlands is now in theaters worldwide, but